What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another installment of Lyles Figure Files. As you can see, I am rocking my G.I. Joe t-shirt. That means I'm breaking down all the reveals from today's G.I. Joe Hasbro live stream. Lots of fun reveals, lots of new pre-orders. That's exciting, including one major mind-blowing, totally unexpected reveal that was so exciting that I cannot wait to own and put into my collection as soon as possible. All right, so let's take a look at the digital render reveals that we got today. Some of these weren't as exciting as some other figures. A lot of them were just kind of like, okay, that's cool, that's neat. Okay, for people who missed out on something, cool that you get to get that. Not something I'm really interested in. Now, considering we've got these Tiger Force, these Python Patrol repaints, I'm kind of like, okay, let's pull back a little bit on some of these. Let's crank out some new figures instead of, all right, well, here's another version of this character you've already gotten, we've already shown. But it's okay. The Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series line is still my favorite, and they're putting out enough great stuff that I can forgive them for double, and in some cases, triple dipping on some figures. First up, we got the G.I. Joe Renegades style Snake Eyes and another 2-pack with Timber. Timber is more of a white instead of that cool great gradient that we got with the first 2-pack. I really love the paint job on that first Timber, and I think this one is more of a generic wolf, more in line. So if you just wanted to have a collection of wolves to have Timber fight, that would be great, but I think that first one's still much better. Of course, if you missed out, there's an opportunity to get a Timber figure to add to your collection. Snake Eyes, with his Renegade style, has green pants or more green accents in the black pants. That's okay. Wasn't a huge Renegades fan, but I know they really did have some cool designs. So I'd love to see what else they come up with on that. Now, to do that, they probably need to do some sculpting for figures like Duke, Roadblock, Scarlet, and probably Tunnel Rat, and who we haven't seen just in a basic general sense. That may be one of those cases where I'm speaking up. We're going to see the Renegades version of Tunnel Rat before the classic Real American Hero version. So actually, let's forget I even said that. All right, next up, we jump to the Retro series. Now, these are the figures that are basically repainted to look more of a cartoon, original Real American Hero style, based off of the original Classified Series designs. So we've seen Destro, we've seen Baroness, Lady J, and my favorite, the one I am most anticipating, Gung Ho. Joining them is Zartan and Storm Shadow. So Zartan has more of the cartoon feel. He's got the green eyes, more colors, kind of coordinated more in line with the cartoon. I think that's cool. And it's interesting because I feel like Hasbro keeps doing a little bit better version of Zartan every time they take another crack at it. The figure had an awesome mold, great sculpting, so it's just more a tweak here and there, fixing out some colors. I have the Pulse exclusive version, I have the original version, but I'm kind of tempted by this retro one, and I'm kind of feeling a little bit like, man, this was the version I probably would have gotten all along, although the Pulse version with all those great accessories is still a cool figure and one that I'm happy to have in my collection. I still don't know what I'm doing with that first Zartan that I got, though. Maybe I'll give it away or something. Storm Shadow also has a little few tweaks as well. The solo classic ninja version, because I know we already had a version of Storm Shadow in his Arctic gear. We had a movie Storm Shadow. This version has the classic wrappings. There's no gauntlet, kind of in modern sense, which worked for this take on the Classified Series, take on classic Storm Shadow. This one has the old school wraps that, if you're a fan of issue 21, they start unraveling in that fight with Snake Eyes and Scarlet. So you see his Arashikage tattoo, and then you see that Snake Eyes has the same thing on his wrist. And it's just this, whoa, what's this connection here with these guys? So anyhow, you got that. The boots don't have his, I guess the wrappings around his ankles aren't as pronounced either. And this is another case where it's like, ooh, this is probably the version of Storm Shadow I like to see. Now, I think the catch with these retro figures, between the solo versions we've got before, are the accessories. We haven't seen what Zartan and Storm Shadow are going to come with, And maybe that makes all the difference where it's, I'm glad I've got this Storm Shadow that I still have waiting on pre-order to ship, and I'll go with that version, even though I like the wraps on the wrist a little bit better than the original version of that. The Zartan, I think I'm okay with my Pulse version, even though I like the color scheme of this new one a little bit better. But again, we'll see what happens when we see those accessories. So then we've got those guys, and it's really exciting. We've got another vehicle character slot. This time it's Tiger Force Duke. And the Hasbro team made note that Duke's original Tiger Force figure had brown hair and not blonde, but to stay consistent, they decided to go with blonde. I think that was a smart idea. No need to go so far back into paying homage, a direct homage to the original figure, because that just makes it confusing. The Ram cycle looks pretty cool in the Tiger Force colors, although I have to admit, I'm really looking forward to seeing the next Joe vehicle not be a bike. I want to see them take it to the next level, give us a vamp, give us something that maybe one or two characters can ride on instead of just a bike. Maybe something like the vamp, where we have 3 characters that can fit on there comfortably. I really think that's something that could work at retail, or as just a direct Pulse exclusive, or a HasLab exclusive. We know we've got G.I. Joe's Yojo June event coming in a few months, so that's probably where we're going to see the next Classified Series HasLab, or I guess the first one, because we got that Sky Striker for the vintage line. I feel like now's the time. We've got enough momentum with the Classified Series that it's time to see a HasLab for the G.I. Joe Classified Series. And I feel like that would sell because this line is doing really well. People are excited about it. And I'd love to get a vehicle like the Vamp before these prices go super crazy. And we're getting one more 2-pack. Now this one is a Blue Ninja 2-pack with the Red Ninja repainted and the G.I. Joe movie Kiko figure repainted as a Blue Ninja warrior. That's kind of cool for people who want to diversify their ninja collections. I wasn't as excited about it, but I thought they did some smart things. Both figures come with different masks, so you can change up so it's not just, oh, it's a repaint of these figures. I think that was a smart idea, and they probably look a little bit better with these new masks, so you can have your separate Red Ninja clan looking very different from however many of these Blue Ninjas you want to get. I'd be very curious to see the pricing on this 2-pack because it's, you know, with the Vipers 3-pack, it was like $90 for 3 figures. I don't think this set would be worth $50, but after that Marvel Legends Ned and Peter Parker set clocking in at $55, I'm not that sure that that's not going to be the case with this one. But that's another 2-pack. I wish we could just get more basic ones like a Crimson Guardsman and a Cobra Bat, or Bat and Snow Serpent, Eagle, and Cobra Trooper. Just the armies that you'd want to build up, not necessarily these fringe alternate versions. Like, I don't need a gold-plated Viper. I would have been fine just getting a regular 2-pack of Vipers. So hopefully that's something that Hasbro kind of works out with these G.I. Joe Classified Series army builder sets, because I have interest, but I don't want to have a figure that I don't care about. So hopefully that's something we can get down the road. But the big reveal, and probably the biggest one of the day, and it just sounded like, oh, wow. When Emily queued up the Sarge, and it's like, whoa, 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 Sarge who? Because you can't just randomly throw out Sarge. I mean, I know they started putting in Sergeant Stalker and all that other stuff. There's only one Sarge in the G.I. Joe universe that gets everybody hyped up. And it's the one and only Sergeant Slaughter. And they got a video presentation, and it was so cool. I felt like I was watching those bookend commercial break segments with Sergeant Slaughter talking to us about the episodes. That was really cool. But the biggest thing was he announced he's getting a Classified Series figure. And it was super big, brawny, ready to kick tail, which means if the tease on that Dr. Mindbender figure is correct, maybe we'll get Serpentor to fight Sergeant Slaughter. That would be epic. But I am so excited. I'm glad they didn't mess around and try to do some funky colors with Sarge. We just got the black tank top, the camo pants, great looking head sculpt. That's Sergeant Slaughter. That's all I needed. Don't do anything funny. No Slaughters, Marauders. Just Sergeant Slaughter. You can do that repaint way down the road. But this is the one I wanted. And I cannot wait to see how he comes out, I don't care what kind of SKU, what kind of offering he's coming in. Maybe we get a Sergeant Slaughter with his Warthog or the Triple T. I don't care. I'm buying this figure, and I am really excited and stoked to have him join my G.I. Joe Classified Series line. All right, so we got him. That was a huge, biggest reveal, and I think maybe they probably should have saved him for last because everything else is like, okay, great, that's cool, but Sergeant Slaughter. So anyway, then we got the next pre-orders set. So we've seen how they do this in the past. We've seen the digital renderings of figures. Then we get the prototypes with the cool diorama shots. So we actually see what kind of accessories they have. So I like this kind of staggered release thing where we get excited. There's that initial excitement of, oh, cool, they're making this figure. And then we got to get to see the figure in the next live stream. So this set, we got to see Bazooka, Recondo, the latest additions from the Tiger Force line. And these figures look so good. Those digital renderings they showed look good, but I think actually seeing the figures with the Classified series, they always blow me away. It's like, whoa, that's so much better looking than this render, which I was excited about. But seeing the figure in hand or, on screen or whatever, looks so good. And I think every head sculpt, every bit of accessories or whatever that they're showing really sells the figure, really does a much better job than just that one static image of it. And it's just like, whoa, this is that version of such and such character that I wanted in 6-inch format. And Bazooka and Recondo both look amazing. The head sculpts are incredible. Recondo with that great mustache. Bazooka with his thicker stash, great hair underneath the helmet. Both of them have removable hats and helmets. All the accessories match up for my classic mindset. Bazooka with his big bazooka. Recondo with his wrapped rifle. I mean, just all the little touches are intact, and I was so excited to see these figures. However, because they're Tiger Force, I'm not buying them, and I'm just like, I can't wait to see these classic color versions of these two in particular, because they really look good, and I can't wait to get them at some point next year. But for those people who are not as patient, wink wink, as I am, and are just huge fans of Tiger Force, these guys look incredible, and I think they're going to make really great additions to any collection. So we got those two. On the Python Patrol front, we got the Python Patrol Officer. Again, Python Patrol, Tiger Force, not really my big thing, but I think if you're really getting into these subset lines, they both look really good. And the Officer, really nice job with the Python Patrol colors. Very nice implementation of that whole setup, but that's not something I'm as excited about. That's some other things. All right, so the last three reveals from the fully prototyped completed stage before they get into our grubby hands was the Crimson Guardsman. And that figure looks so amazing. It's got all the accessories from back in the day, the rifle with the bayonet, the sword, the smaller pistol. The design on the Crimson Guardsman was always one of my favorites, the Cobra army builders. And I just love how they infiltrate society, worming their way and just causing chaos and terror in a different way than the standard Cobra troopers, the Cobra Vipers. So I love that. I love the fact that we're going to have Tomax and Zam out before these guys, so I can build a massive army to flank them and Cobra Commander. Really excited about that. And Hasbro was like, yo, you want all in on this army building players. So they have like shots of 5 of them. It's like, that's probably not enough. But the concern, of course, is as they keep raising the prices of these figures, how expensive will it be to actually build a formidable army of Crimson Guardsmen, bats. Well, I guess not so much the bats, but Crimson Guardsmen for sure. Snow serpents, eels, toxic vipers, televipers, all those kind of vipers that were still kind of waiting to get done. And these prices, buying 2 is going to be like $50 now. So I'm like, anyway, I'm really looking forward to getting the Crimson Guardsmen. Next up was Zarana, and she looked really great. I feel like Hasbro isn't quite sure how they're going to get the Dreadnoks out, because you got your 3 core members of them, Torch, Ripper, and Buzzer, and then you got the next wave, Zarana, Xandar, Monkey Wrench, Thrasher, and you got Zanzibar, Road Pig, and then everybody else, Burnout, whoever else you want to add in at that point. So I was really like, oh man, we would much rather have gotten the 3 Dreadnoks, just throw them out there, 3 originals, and then get Xandar and Zarana later. But Zarana really turned out nicely. They did a great job with her sculpt, her outfit, the expression. Her fierce expression makes a lot of sense. They translated her Real American Hero design really well into a classified series setup. And probably my favorite part was they did the Lady J swappable hair trick where she has a modern hairstyle that has a mullet or whatever, and you can swap that out with one that's much more reminiscent of her original figure. I love that they're taking those kind of steps where it's, yeah, we could just do this version, but let's add this in. And instead of making this a retro version, they just put it into one figure. I love that so much more than slightly tweaking a sculpt just to make us buy a figure again. So I talk so much when Hasbro does these minuscule changes for the cost of a new figure. And kind of like that Storm Shadow, the retro one, which I think they should have just done all along. But when you get a figure like Lady J, like Zarana, where they're giving you that 2-in-1 right out the bat, you really got to give them their props. And I really appreciate that. So Zarana looks good. Cannot wait to get her as well. I feel like I'm always saying I can't wait to get these figures. But that's the appeal, the hook for me, this Classified Series line. They're knocking these figures out. And G.I. Joe is such a wide open line for me. Like, there's not going to be a thing outside of these subset lines that I'm going to be like, oh, I don't care about this character. I don't care about this figure. I'm down for pretty much everything they show in the Real American Hero classic original designs. So that's it. Next up is my boy Dusty. And he looks really good. I love the head sculpt. I do kind of feel like his helmet piece probably should have that cloth piece hanging out like it was in the original figure and like every Dusty figure we've gotten in the past. And it just seems weird to have it as one big plastic piece. So beyond that, I thought the figure looked really good. I may play around with his camo a little bit more to make it look more like the Real American Hero design. He is probably a figure that Hasbro could go, well, let's tweak up his camouflage a little bit, his face paint, maybe that helmet in the back, and then we can come him and just make a new retro figure. I wouldn't love that. I feel like this figure is really good and doesn't need I got you, but I can see them doing that with this one. But he's got great accessories. He's got that rifle that I distinctly remember the original figure having. Got a big backpack. His card art looks great. And we're knocking out another member of my boy Flint's squad. So not sure who we're going to get next. I guess it would be a classic version of Bazooka, but maybe they hold off to get more people buying that Tiger Force version. But there's Alpine, Quick Kick, Shipwreck. So many great figures in that wave, airtight. So let's keep them coming. But anyway, Dusty looks incredible. They did a really nice job with him. And yeah, this line is just killing it. I mean, we watched Transformers, Power Rangers, Marvel Legends, Star Wars, but I keep feeling, just like with that last PulseCon, G.I. Joe Classified Series is the new belle of the ball. It's just taking over. It's the spotlight line for Hasbro right now. And though they're not cranking out figures nearly as often as I would like, when we get new reveals and we get to see the next evolution of a prototype from that digital render to the actual figure itself, I don't feel disappointed. I don't feel like, you guys really missed the mark on this figure. There are a few things, of course, I would tweak, like I mentioned with Dusty's helmet, or not making Tiger Force versions of figures before we get them in their original designs. But they're really doing great stuff. And I cannot wait to see what's coming down the pipeline. And what was surprising, we saw a bunch of reveals that digital render to the figure, but the one that we didn't see was Kamakura. So I guess we'll see him for Yojo June. I read up on all the IDW, Devil's Due, G.I. Joe. That series kind of went off the rails near the back end, but for the first 15, 20 issues, it was really solid. So anyway, I'm actually looking forward to getting that Kamakura now and calling him Sean Collins as opposed to faking out Snake Eyes. Anyhow, different story altogether, but really exciting stuff as always from the Classified Series team, and it's time to start the countdown for Yojo June. but I can't wait to see what else we're getting. Get those pre-orders in. I'm going to put the links in the video as well, so you can check them out if you haven't already pre-ordered. And let me know which of these figures that were shown today had you most excited. And if you want, you could say like me after Sergeant Slaughter, because he was by far the biggest, most exciting reveal. I thought with the Valverse version of Sarge, with the deal with Mattel, we weren't going to get a Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Sgt. Slaughter. So I'm very excited to add him to the line. And so excited with the possibilities. So I think that now takes Mercer, Taurus, and Red Dog up on the priority list a lot more now, because like, well, you got Sarge, now we can get his Marauders. So anyway, that's it. So many good things coming from the Classified Series line. Let me know what you're most excited about. Thank you as always for watching. Drop a comment. I will definitely respond to you. And subscribe so you can know when I'm coming up with the next video. But thanks so much as always for watching. This episode of Loud's Figure Files has been filed.